Check, check, check. Okay. Hopefully that sounds better. I got my microphone on. There's a fan right now. Give you guys a little shot. I got this box fan keeping me cool. It's like in the 90s right now in El Cajon, California. It is hot and doing a little electrical. So I'm wearing a microphone. Hopefully that helps you guys out with the audio. Hopefully you don't hear the fan too much. It's possible you still do, but we're just gonna roll with it and hope for the best. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm doing an electrical installation on a shuttle bus. And this is the 4th day that I've been working on it. And so I thought I would go ahead and just do a live stream because I'm just out here working anyway. So I figured I might as well do a live stream, and maybe you guys wanted to see what's going on. Maybe you wanted to see the process, some tips and tricks, how I do what I do. And so that's what we're doing today. So feel free. I know this is not the regular scheduled live. Normally I go live at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock normally on Wednesdays. But I figured I would just go live now and show you guys the actual work, because by 6 o'clock this evening, I'm probably not gonna have a whole lot of work left. Lady Cass, holy shit, finally get to catch a live. Hey Jay, hello, welcome. Lady, hello. I'm happy you guys got to catch a live. I normally come live at 6 o'clock, but I figured I would come live early while I'm actually working and give the people kind of a first-hand shot at how I do what I do. Dave, yes, I'm early. I wanted to hop on early and actually show you guys a live while I'm working, and it looks like maybe I'm able to reach some people who are not normally available at 6 p.m. Pacific on a Wednesday. It looks like Lady is in the house. She said this is her first live, and so hopefully, since I'm coming on early, I can connect with some other folks. So we're doing electrical today on the shuttle bus. Lady says wife and bought a first home on wheels, something Chevy. Congratulations. Happy for you. I'm happy that you're getting the home on wheels. You're gonna do some traveling. And it's fun. There's a lot of freedom in this lifestyle. And so right now I'm just enjoying California. Although it is hot, it's very hot here. For the last couple weeks, I've been at the beach, and so it's about 20 degrees cooler at the beach. It's like, hello Granny, thanks for joining. Hello Charles, good to see you. It's about 78, 75 at the beach right now, but over here in El Cajon, in the middle of the city, it's in the 90s, much hotter. And so got my shirt off, trying to stay cool. Got a box fan going over here, blowing on me. And so this is what I've been doing for the last couple days. Electrical system in a shuttle bus. The first thing I did is I mounted all the components onto this piece of wood right here. And then I went ahead and ran all the 12 volt and the 110. The white stuff is all 12 volt. And then the yellow stuff is all the 110 volt circuits. And so they go up across the roof, goes to one max fan, to another max fan, and then it continues across. And then over here, as you can see, this build is just getting started, so she has a lot of work to do before she can really place all the electrical properly. So I just went ahead and spooled up all the wires kind of in a general location of where they're going to be. And then once she completes the build out, then she'll go ahead and just drop them down and extend them to their final resting place. And then I did all the 110 volt boxes up here. And those are also kind of just temporary. And once, yeah, but it's all working for now. Hello, happy to see you here. Somebody asked about price. This job, my labor charge for this job was about $4,000. Jay is asking about wire. So, you know, Jay, in the past, I've always used stranded wire. All the low voltage stuff is stranded, but you know, I was using low voltage in the past as well. I mean, I'm sorry, I was using stranded wire for my 110 volt connections in the past. But what I found out, or what I realized, is all the RVs and travel trailers, they just use regular solid conductor wire. And so I figured if all the RVs and all the travel trailers are using solid conductor wire, then there's no reason I can't use solid conductor wire. So that's the answer. So now I'm using solid for all my 110, but I'm still using stranded for my, I'm using stranded for all my low voltage. No, 4,000 is just for the labor. 4,000 is for me to show up and spend about 5 days installing all the equipment. She had to pay for all the equipment separately. The benefit of going with old Nomad Brad, though, is I designed the full system for you. So including that $4,000, you're also getting a complete system design, wiring diagram. I pick out all the proper components. I put together a list of every single piece of material required, and then I send it to the client in an Amazon list. And so, hey, what's going on, King? And so they get the lowest price. I don't mark up any of the equipment, and Amazon has about the lowest prices. So that's kind of a benefit of going with me. Jay is asking about the bus. It is a shuttle bus. It's an Econoline. This is the 20, it's about 23 feet bumper to bumper. It's the Econoline chassis. What's up, King? The crew misses me. Happy to hear I'm being missed. I'm out here getting paid, King. Gotta pay some bills, buddy. But I'll be back soon. I'll be back with the crew this weekend. Yeah, I'll be back. Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. For sure Friday. Yeah, so this is a 23-foot shuttle bus. It's like late 90s Ford E450. Okay, and here we are. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just connecting some of this low voltage stranded wire. What does Dave say? 4,000 is a what? Is a what, Dave? Drop some knowledge on me. Give me the honest truth how you feel about that. Sounds like a lot of money, but I think it's actually a pretty low price. I know this lady that hired me, she was getting quotes from van build companies in California for $15,000 to $20,000. What's the low voltage for? Good question. So this one right here, this is going to the water pump. Dave, thank you. Yeah, 4,000 is a great price. I agree. I need to raise my prices. This is for the water pump. This one is going to the toilet. Hello, April. Thank you for joining. She is getting a incinerator toilet, and so it runs off propane, but it uses 12 volts for like the ignition control and the circuit board. So this one's for the toilet. This one here is for the rear max air fan. Yes, all my clients find me. I don't find my clients. They come in through Instagram and YouTube. This low voltage here, this is for the front max air fan. This one here is for the water heater. So the water heater is running on propane, but it uses 12 volts for the ignition system. We have 2 more LED strips. She has a refrigerator. And what else do we have? Also, the water heater as well uses 12 volts for ignition. So she has quite a few. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She has 10 low voltage circuits. And so this is a 24 volt system. Jay's watching, or is Super Dave? Super Dave's not in here, but anyway, she's using this all-in-one inverter charger, which is basically the same as the one I have. She has 4 12 volt batteries, 12 volt 280 amp hour lithium batteries, and we're going to run them at 24 volts into this inverter charger. So the output is 24 volts, And so we're using this Victron Orion step-down transformer, and this will take the 24 volts and drop it down to 12 volts. So out of the transformer, we go into this fuse distribution block, and now we have 12 volts for all of our 12-volt appliances. And then additionally, I did install a separate distribution block here for 24 volts. So if she wants to hook up any 24-volt appliances, then she can do so, and that will run directly off the battery. Pretty exciting stuff. She's gonna love it. All right, so what are we gonna do now? Now we're gonna crimp on some terminals. So the first thing I did is I ran all the wiring, then I went ahead and just stripped off the ends of the wires, and then the next thing we're gonna do is crimp on. We're gonna use these ring terminals. How much was all the materials? I think it was probably around $2,000. Well, I don't know, the batteries I didn't include. She already had the batteries when she contacted me, so I don't know what she paid for the batteries, but they're probably $500 to $600 a piece. So that's like $2,000. So she's probably about 4,000 for parts, and then 4,000 for labor. So that's about $8,000 total, be my guess, somewhere in there. Jay, very reasonable. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work, Jay. It's a lot of work. Pretty reasonable. What are the two red components that looks like a miniature switch? Yeah, so this, good question. So this is the battery disconnect. So the battery voltage comes in here, and then it distributes to all the components. So you can turn this on or off, and then that allows you to safely work on all the components. And then this one right here, this is a bus bar. So the 24-volt electrical comes into this bus bar, and then it gets distributed to all the other components. So it's got a cover on it right now. Hold on. So you can't really see it, but basically the power comes in, and then it goes out this way to the inverter charger. And then down here it goes out to the step-down transformer. And then over here it goes out to this 24-volt fuse block. So that's what these are. These are bus bars to distribute all the low voltage electrical. I guess I can just show you guys what's going on here. And then additionally we have, so battery power coming in, it goes to the main fuse, into the disconnect, into the distribution bar, through an A&L fuse, into the 24-volt electrical supply, through another A&L fuse, into the step-down converter, which converts 24 volts into 12 volts. And then the output from this goes into this fuse distribution block, and all the 12-volt circuits get wired up into this. And then, what else do we have? Back here, this is a shunt from Victron. So this measures your energy usage from the batteries. So that allows you to monitor and know how much juice you have remaining in the batteries. This is a circuit breaker, which we're using as a disconnect for the solar panels. So that will allow us to kill power coming in from the solar panels. I haven't installed the panels yet, but when I do, the panel wire will come in from the top. And then it goes into this all-in-one charger, and the all-in-one charger takes in power from the solar. It also has a shore power connection, which I have not yet connected. And then it has, of course, the battery charging feature. And then it goes out. This is the 110-volt breaker box. So we have one 10-gauge, 120-volt line coming in. And then the black goes up into this distribution hub, and it separates all your 110 line outputs into each breaker. And then at the top, the output from the breaker goes into each piece of Romex, which runs up to my different outlet boxes over there. And then additionally, Additionally, we have our ground, which is right here. And then we have our neutral leg, which is right here. And so as far as grounding goes, it just grounds to the case of the inverter charger. And then when you're plugged into shore power, it can ground through the shore power ground, which is on your house or on your barn or wherever you're plugged into shore power. So it's kind of an overview of the system. I really like the all-in-one. They're a lot simpler to install. This one unit basically takes place of a solar charge controller, a power inverter, and a battery charger. So this one box does all three of those features. Someone asked about the shunt. The way it works is it's simply measuring power flow into and out of your battery bank. So you charge up your battery bank 100%. You tell the shunt how many amp hours of battery you have, and then it monitors power flow in and out of that battery bank. And so by monitoring power flow, then it can tell you how much battery capacity you're using, how much you have left, that type of stuff. Thanks, Charles. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear you'll be reaching out. I had a meeting this morning. I had a Zoom call with a client. So for anybody that's curious, I offer consulting. I can help you with system design and installation. If you want to DIY the installation, I can help you through that process through video and phone. I can help you install it yourself. Or if you want me to physically do the install, if you happen to be in my location, then I'm open to helping you. Although I will warn you, Nomad Brad is getting very busy, and I'm only one person. And the whole reason I moved into a van is so I could enjoy life and not work so much. So Nomad Brad is very limited in his ability to help people physically. I only have so much availability. So spots are limited, but if you want help remotely, like for me to help you design a system or guide you through installation, then I have a lot more availability for help in that area. I think Jay asked about the connectors. These are, in fact, heat shrink connectors. And so in a minute here, we will be firing up the heat gun, and we will heat shrink all of these into place. And I like heat shrink connectors. Camping at the burn. Dylan, yes. Dylan, I do know where I'm camping, but I can't pull it up right now because I'm using my phone to live stream. But I'll be camping near Dr. Bronner's. So if you know about the Dr. Bronner's camp, the people that I'm camping with are like extensions of the Dr. Bronner's camp. So that's where I will be. I'm pretty sure you can find that information online probably. And this will be my first burn. I'm excited about it. I've never been. I think it's going to be an adventure. And from everything I'm seeing online, Dylan, you're next door. You next door to the Bronner's camp? You talking about Burning Man? You'll definitely have to come over and say hello. Everything I'm seeing just kind of indicates that Burning Man is an adventure, and it's not going to be easy. You know, they have sandstorms and extreme temperatures. And, you know, even though they make it look fun online and pretty easy, and there's a lot of, you know, Instagrammers that go and make it look like it's no big deal, I think it's actually going to be a bit of a challenge. And so I'm definitely preparing myself for that mentally and physically. I'm going to be bringing a lot of extra supplies and materials and things that I don't normally travel with, just in an attempt to be prepared. So I'm excited. Should be fun. Should be fun. Fingers crossed. I have no issues with the van. and we just have a nice smooth sail through the burn. That would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, Jay likes these connectors. These are by Wi-Fi, and I like these a lot. The ratcheting feature, it just makes it really easy on your wrist, and you get a really firm, really positive crimp. And then I'll show you also. So I got this pack, and so it comes with all different sizes of dies. So like I have some for heat shrink connectors, I have some for regular connectors, I have some for MC4 connectors, I have a set for ferrule terminals, um, which is pretty cool. So basically you just buy this one tool and the kit, and then you can get all different types of die sets for it. So that way you don't have to carry around like a bunch of different pliers. And then see this? You can just pull them out like that, and you can swap them out with a different style. So definitely pretty handy. Hey Jay, yeah, so it goes either way. I recommend the best thing to do is to have me design this system for you. Just because I've done so many of them, I know like the best parts to use and the best prices, and I have the best experience with it. I'm happy to install client equipment, but sometimes the clients don't get all the right stuff, and so they end up having to buy other stuff. So it's really best if you just have me design everything and then tell you what to buy. So now we're gonna do some heat shrinking. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring you guys in a little bit closer here. Oh, this tripod is not, there we go, maybe. Ooh, that ain't gonna work. What can we do here? What about this? Let's try this. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Dylan. I will see you at the burn. I'm excited about it. You can't miss the box truck. Just look for the big orange. So I see a question about labor cost. I mean, my labor cost isn't flat rate. It depends on the job. So for this job, the $4,000 that I charged, that includes mounting the panels. So yeah, you know, but each job is different. Some jobs are less, some jobs are more. So that's all part of the initial estimate when we talk. Okay, yeah. So there's a question in the chat. Yeah, this all-in-one inverter charger. Um, the on-off switch is only for the inverter. So as long as this inverter charger has solar coming through it, it will maintain your batteries. And then you can just turn the switch to off, and that will kill the inverter. So yeah, that's the way to do it, and it will keep your batteries charged up for you. No problem. I realize you guys can't really see what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out somewhere to place. I got all this crap in my way. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do something here for you guys. Let's see what we got. There we go. Let's try this. Tripod behind you. Yeah, that's a good idea. Tripod behind me. The problem with the tripod behind me is then I can't read the chat. And so I kind of want to be able to, if I can, read the chat and answer questions. This looks pretty good to me, though. I think we got it. Let me just level this out a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. So where are we at? Okay, so now we are just hooking up these wires. True that, use a tablet. Yeah, I hear you, Spectre. I thought about all this stuff today before doing the live stream. I thought about, I use OBS sometimes to stream from my MacBook, and I could have done that, and then that would allow me to use my iPhone just as a remote camera and set up a good shot, and then I could view the chat from the laptop. But it just, I don't know, it just felt like it was too much effort. Like I'm just, at the same time I am working here, so I kind of, you know, I kind of want to focus on work. So this is what it is for today. And I appreciate you guys for joining along. All right, so, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm labeling 905 times a day. I'm labeling all the spots on the fuse block. That way, the client, if she has any issues, she can go back and figure out which circuit is which. Peace, love, sunshine, stumbled upon bus life. It's a good time. It's a good way to live and experience a high level of freedom with a low level of expenses. Yeah, 24-volt system I think is the way to go. Minimum. I really think 24-volt system is the sweet spot because you can do a 48-volt system, but then everything has to run off a step-down converter, and it's pretty hard to charge 48 volts from an alternator. So I think 24 volts is the sweet spot. Also, it takes a lot of solar to activate MPPT on a 48-volt system. People don't talk about that a lot. So I think for most vehicles, 24 is the sweet spot. Hello. Hi, yeah, someone's asking about tools. Yeah, so if you guys want to DIY, I'll give you everything you need to be successful. I can recommend all the different tools that you'll need for the project. There's really not much. There's a few hand tools you'll need, some crimpers, but not too many tools. But yeah, I recommend everything, and I can also show you, you know, the actual skills required, like how to cut and crimp wires. So I can meet you guys wherever you're at in your knowledge base. Yeah, shuttle bus life and box truck life are both good choices. You get a lot of space. The vehicles are pretty affordable, and a lot of good options out there. I just had a consultation with a client today, and they told me, you know, when they first started considering their van life journey, they were looking at like a ProMaster, and then they realized that a ProMaster was going to cost them like $30,000 just for the empty vehicle, but they could get a box truck and build out the whole damn thing for $30,000. So when you put it into perspective like that, it just makes so much more sense. All right, so what is this? This is for the incinerator toilet. Go ahead and lock that one in right there. Incinerator toilet, bing, bang, boom. There we go. Let's go ahead and pull one of these. And so the client I talked to today, they're doing a box truck. They're doing the 10-foot box. Nicola, email me. The best way to contact with me is to email me. If you go click on the description for this live stream, and there's a link that says connect with me. And if you go in there, you can find all the different ways to connect with me. If you go to my website, there's an email, as well as a phone number, and then my social media, my Instagram. So however you guys want to connect with me, all the options are on there. So feel free to choose whichever method you are most comfortable with, and I'm happy to help you guys out. So my client's getting the 10-foot box truck. I recommend a 12-foot personally. I like the roof space. You can fit a lot more solar because the 12-foot has the grandma's attic, so you can actually have a 14-foot roof. Oops, I didn't heat shrink this one yet. So I think the 12-foot is the sweet spot, but he wants the 10, so he's going to do a 10. And so I'll be happy to help him out with his build and get him on the road. Yeah, so I'm using Nomad Internet. I'm actually using it right now. You can see it right here. There's my Nomad router and my battery pack, and I'm actually charging it off my EcoFlow at the moment, charging everything up. So yeah, the Nomad works great. I've been super happy with it. What's funny, let's see, Greg, can you wire a remote on-off switch to the inverter? Could you? Yes, but it wouldn't be. You would have to engineer it yourself because it doesn't come with that option. So basically, you would have to figure out some kind of a switch with a relay that you could use. So is it possible? Yes. Is it easy? No. It's going to take a little bit of research and design on your part, but it can definitely be done. Yeah, so about internet, the other funny thing is, so I'm camping with Wanderbox right now, and they have Starlink. They have Starlink, and we were doing a live stream the other day, and their Starlink sucked. And they actually came to use my Nomad internet. And Mark told me that just in general, the Starlink upload speeds are not very good. And so I thought that was interesting. Interesting. But everything is trade-offs, right? Like there's really no perfect solution for anything in life. There's always compromise. And so the benefit of Starlink is anywhere that has a clear view of the sky, you can use it. And the download speeds are pretty fast. But it looks like, one of their weaknesses is the upload speeds. Although I gotta say, the new Starlink Mini has come out. And so I'll be curious to see how that works. And I have a free contract with Nomad Internet for doing a couple reviews on their device, but it expires in November. So once it's time for me to actually pay for internet on my own, I might consider Starlink. Panduit and DIN rail. Nobody's asked for it yet. You mean like when you say Panduit and DIN rail, you mean like the wire channeling that hides everything? Is that what you're talking about? Nobody's asked for it. I'm happy to do it, but it just takes more time, and then it costs more money. So it's all a time versus money thing. Most of the people I run into just want the lowest possible price, and so I give them the best quality, reliable system, at the lowest possible price. But like, I did a job a couple weeks ago where they wanted it to look nice, so I added wire loom to all the wires and organized it kind of neatly. But all that kind of stuff, it's really just aesthetics. There's really not any kind of like technical reason to use it. But I mean, I agree. It looks better. It looks more finished. It looks more professional. But again, it's just more time and more money. So if somebody wants it, I'm happy to do it. Let's see, water pump. What is this? Toilet. Okay, so this is water pump. Water pump. Here we go. So we got that labeled up. We got the water pump sticker on. I got to do one for the toilet. That's this one right here. This is the toilet connection. This toilet she's doing, it's a $3,500 incinerating toilet. It runs on propane. It's crazy how much they charge for those things. Yeah, I agree. Wire loom makes it look really nice. I do love the look of loom. I'm doing a job for Zach's box truck in a week or two, and so I'll probably make that one, you know, look really good. I'll make it look really, really fancy for him. We'll do a nice job on it. Okay, so I think we're all done with this now. We have all these low voltage lines attached, ready to go. So I'm gonna add a little zip tie here, just to clean this up. And I'm gonna add a little zip tie over on this side to clean this one up. And then we're gonna move on to the battery, wiring up the batteries. So the last 2 days, I've been charging up the batteries. They're 280 amp hour batteries. She has 4 of them. And the battery charger, you know, they don't ship these batteries fully charged. And the battery charger I have is only a 20 amp battery charger. So it took a long time. It took like 2 days to get everything charged up, but now the batteries are charged. And so I connected them all last night in parallel so that all the voltage is being shared. So I connected them all last night. This is just a bunch of scrap wire that I use just for balancing batteries. So size doesn't really matter. We're just slowly balancing current over 24 hours. But now what I need to do is actually cut the proper battery terminals and then wire them into the shunt and the fuse. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's see. And there we go. Not bad, not bad at all. Okay. So, it's time to get out the big crimpers. We got to get out the big crimpers and the big... Thank you, Spectre. I appreciate you. We got to get out the big crimpers and the big cable cutters and the big heat shrink. And let's see, we'll have to kind of take some measurements to figure out what size cables we need. And so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna I'm gonna run in the van really quick and grab a coconut water. It's hot and I'm thirsty. And then I'm gonna grab my battery cable and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, I am back. Got some coconut water. I bought a bunch of this stuff at Grocery Outlet the other day. This is my favorite because it's only got coconut pulp and coconut water. There's no sugar in it, and there's no preservatives or anything. Let's see. I got a chat. Let me see this chat again. Hold on. Hansa, I recently put your recommended PV combiner box for my solar and hooked up 4 40-volt solar panels, and my combined voltage is 36. Is this normal? I thought it would be around 150. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Let me think. Wait a minute. No, I take that back. If you do voltage, so what that combiner box does is it combines all your panels in parallel. And so voltage will remain the same, but amperage will increase. If you go in series, then voltage will increase, amps will remain the same. So you're thinking backwards. Now what you can do, now when I installed that PV combiner box, it was based off the specifications for my all-in-one unit. I was trying to install 5 solar panels, but it turns out when I actually did it, I wasn't getting enough voltage to activate the MPPT on my charge controller. So what you can do is you can I think you said you have 4 panels. You can just run series parallel. You can just go series parallel. So that's what I did. I did 2 of my panels in series, which doubles your voltage, keeps the amps the same, and then you take, yeah, exactly, 2P2S. And then you take those 2 series strings and you run them in parallel through like a Y splitter. And that will then add those 2 strings together. And so that, for me, that was the magic trick to reach the numbers I needed for my charge controller. If you want help figuring this out, just go on Google and type in Explorist Life solar panel wiring. He has a wiring calculator where you just put in the specifications for your panels, and then you can see like solar versus series versus parallel. You can see what the final voltages and amperages would be. I use his calculator all the time when I'm doing builds for clients. So you can go to Explorist Life solar sizing calculator. It'll help you out. Okay, got to get some work done now. We're gonna move on to these battery cables. I'm gonna need, let's see, this guy right here. And so the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the batteries, disconnect everything, and then I can make new cables. I should just go get my socket set. Yeah, I'm going to get my socket set, do this the proper way. Be right back. All right. I saw a super chat come in right as I was leaving. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. I do this kind of stuff just to help you guys out and help empower more people to live this lifestyle. And so I'm happy to help you guys out, but it does take time and it takes a little bit of my focus. And so I appreciate a super chat in exchange for some knowledge. I didn't see quite what that was. I didn't see quite what that was. I saw somebody is saying, somebody's asking about MPPT versus battery charging. I guess I can look at the chat history here and see what that was. Okay. Let's see the chat history. That was Hanza with the super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Girls on trampolines. Oh man, like the man show. I would love some girls on trampolines right now. That would be very nice. Okay, I don't know. Oops. Cancel. Cancel. There we go. Okay. All right. Nicola Simone with a super chat. Thank you, Nicola. I appreciate you. I appreciate the tip. I am happy that you guys are finding value in the content. And, all right. Doing a 30-foot school bus. Got Steam. Happy to have you here. Yeah, so there was a mention about let's see. So if we just go like this and that. Okay, there was a mention about a school bus, a solar panel rack. I've seen quite a few videos. So I actually have a client that I did, let's see, what did I do? We did like almost 3,000 watts of solar on their school bus. And they actually make a solar panel mounting feet that are adjustable, and they're pretty tall. They can be up to like 4 or 5 inches tall. And so those actually will work on the curved roof of a bus. So if you go to my, in the description for this video, there's my Connect with Me link. And if you go to my that link, I have a link to my Amazon shop page. And if you go into my Amazon shop and you look at my solar and electrical stuff, you will find these solar panel brackets that are tall and they have an adjustable angle. And so you can use those on a school bus and you don't have to do a full rack system. People get crazy with all their racking system for their solar panels, but it's really not necessary. Or if you really wanted a rack, what you could do is you could just use these brackets to make a rack. But either way, the key is these brackets. That's what you really want. They're pretty cool. Okay. All right. Getting these batteries all disconnected here. And then we'll start. 80/20 is rails up top. Yeah, there you go. You can do 80/20. You might use something bigger though than 80/20. You might use like, I think they have like an 80/40. It's just a little bit, physically it's a little bit larger. I'm just thinking about like aluminum expanding and contracting on the roof. And so I would try to do a little bit larger aluminum than 80/20. Just me, that's just me personally. I'd look at 80/40. Okay, I see people talking about 12, yeah, 2x2 extrusion. Honestly, I feel like 2x2 is a little undersized for panels on the roof. Especially depending how long you're gonna run that 80/20. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you put a ton of brackets in, it's probably okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so let's do, okay, so here's where we're at. I see someone asking about alternator charger for 48 volt batteries. I haven't really looked into that before. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about charging 48 volt batteries off of 12 volts. So I would just have to look into it. I don't know. Well, what you could do is you could just install a an inverter. They went 12 volts to 110, and then you could go from 110 to 48. I know there's a efficiency loss there, but I'm just unfamiliar with what equipment is available that goes directly from 12 volts DC to 48 volts DC. But I'm sure it's possible. How do I fund my lifestyle? You're looking at it, bro. This is how I fund my lifestyle. Right here. I install solar for people. So for example, my monthly expenses is about $1,500 is about what it costs me a month. Carl says Sterling makes it 12 to 48. So there you go. My monthly expenses are about $1,500 a month, depending, how much I drive. And so it's not too hard to support myself with electrical work and YouTube. That's it. That's how I make money. So here's the batteries. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 volt, 280 amp hour lithiums. These are the eco-worthy. There's a little shot right there. 12.8 volt, 280 amp hour lithium iron phosphate. So we're now going to connect these. There's 4 batteries. We're going to connect 2 of them in series. So the positive and negative will get connected. And then over here, the positive negative will get connected. And then we'll take the positives and the negatives and bring them up and connect them in here. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to make these little jumpers. I'm using 1/0 cable. I realize it's a little bit overkill, but no such thing as too big of a battery cable. So we're going to use 0 gauge. Can we normalize using watt hour? Yeah, I agree. I agree. We should normalize using watt hours. All the power stations use watt hours. It's really only the batteries themselves that actually still are clinging on to the amp hour rating. But I agree with you. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for me at, trying to explain to people, because people will ask, how big is your battery bank? And I have 12-volt batteries, but they're connected in series for a 24-volt bank. And so it takes a lot of explaining to try to convey the amount of capacity that I actually have in my vehicle. So I agree. I think watt hours should just be the standard. I would love for watt hours to be the standard. I would love it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn the camera here so you guys get a better view. You're not just staring at my sweaty shoulder. Give me a minute here. And then I'll show you guys the electrical readings on these battery packs. Okay. So I got my Klein, my trusty Klein Tools voltmeter. I like these voltmeters because Klein is a good brand. They've been making electrical tools for like over 100 years. But their voltmeters are really cheap. This was like 35 bucks versus if you bought a Fluke brand meter of a comparable performance and specifications, it would cost you like 200 bucks. So I think Klein is the sweet spot on these voltmeters. Yeah, Fluke 87 probably. I'm not familiar anymore with the model numbers. I used to use Fluke when I was doing HVAC, and that was what everybody used, was Fluke. Nomad Brad, you have single-handedly convinced me this life is for me, looking for a vehicle now. Hey, thanks, Jay Lewis. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Okay. All right, so I'll give you guys a little electrical tour. Let's see if you can see the Hansa. Before van life, I was a residential HVAC service technician, so I repaired and installed furnaces and air conditioners. That's where I learned all my electrical skills. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the voltage on one of these batteries. You can see right there, 13.75 volts. That is just one battery by itself. And then I installed a jumper right down here. You can't see it because it's underneath the wood, but it's a 1/0 jumper, and so it connects from the negative of one battery to the positive of the other battery. And so now, if we connect and read voltage, we can see we have 27.5 volts. So there we are. So these two batteries are now connected in series. They call it a 24-volt battery bank, but the actual voltage is 27.5. Pretty cool. So we got that. Now we're going to do another one on this other battery. I'll reposition you guys so you guys can watch the excitement. Oh, it's exciting. We're doing electrical stuff. It's exciting. So this is the jumper. I actually made these the other day. specifically for this install. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect one. You guys see that? Kind of. Connect one over here to this terminal, like this. Connect that down. Okay. And then we're gonna connect one here, like this. Just like that. Okay. And this was the bank that was 13.8 volts. So let's see what it's coming in at now. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. We'll go ahead and give it a test. We had 27.5 on the other one. Oops, I'm on AC. There we go. DC current. Here we go. 27.52. So both these battery banks are equalized. The voltage is spot on. They're ready to be connected. So now we have two banks in series, and we're gonna go ahead and connect them in parallel. Yo, what up, Dreadhead? Happy to see you in the chat. Outdoors Dreadhead is my dude. Dreadhead just got a shuttle bus. Dreadhead, I'm doing an electrical job right now. Look at this shuttle bus. That's what I'm working on. Getting pretty crazy. You can see all the electrical running through over the roof, down on the back, all the outlets. There it is. Okay, so now what we need to do is make some long cables to connect the other batteries. So we got to take this one and this one. Okay. So here's my aught gauge. My 1-aught. Here's the cable cutters that I use. These things are pretty crazy. So you put your cable in like that, tighten it down, and then you just give it the ratchet. Okay. Brad, what 12-volt step transformer? I'm using the Victron Orion. It's the Victron Orion 2412, and it is 70 amps of continuous output. I like the Victron. I think on a DC to DC step down converter, you really want to do Victron. It's not that expensive. I think it was like 130 bucks, but you know, you want something reliable, and you really want something that's built for like continuous duty, long-term application. And if you get just those little, like the little 10 amp power converters, I just don't know what the lifespan is on those. And I would just hate to have one of those cheap, you know, Chinese units go out on me while I'm out in the bushes somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely like I like these units, these Victron units. Do I recommend 48 volt? Nicola's asking about 48. I like 40, I mean 48's fine, but the issue with 48 is that 48 volt batteries charge at like 50, I don't know, 52 volts. And then in order to activate the MPPT charger, you know, you're going to end up needing like 150 volts of solar. And so you just have to figure out if you have enough roof space on your vehicle. Yeah, G says only use 48 on land. That's just the thing, is you need a lot larger solar array to make 48 volts realistic. And so that's something that might not be ideal for you. Positive, positive, minus, minus. Okay. All right, so here's one. Now we're gonna do the other side. EcoFlow batteries are 48 volts. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But the difference is, like, all that EcoFlow stuff, it's all engineered to work together. Like, they're making all their own stuff. You know, they engineered the battery cells, the chargers, the charge controllers. Everything is engineered from scratch for that system to work. If you're talking about just buying, you know, stuff off the shelf, like 48 volt batteries, then you have to find a charger for it and an inverter for it. And most of the stuff that you're gonna find is all based on like residential 48 volt systems, which are meant for like thousands of watts of solar. So, I mean, yeah, it can work, but it's just hard to find the components you need that are also going to be realistic for use on a vehicle. Yeah, exactly, Darren. EcoFlow it's proprietary. If we're talking about just building your own system from scratch for 48 volts, it's going to be difficult to do in a vehicle. It's not impossible, it's going to be difficult. All right, so check this out. We got the cutters, we got the cable. We're going to cut it right here. Just loop it around. I like Signature Solar and I like the EG4 stuff. It's nice. I love these ratcheting cutters. Look at that. Look how easy that was. My hand isn't even tired. It's so cool. All right. So, and then these. Hold on. Darren is right on the proprietary of EcoFlow. Absolutely he is. Smarter, not harder. Yeah, that's why I like 24 volt systems. The other nice thing about doing 24 volt electrical is you can buy water pumps, LED light strips, and refrigerators, all that are native 24 volts. So that means there's no efficiency loss between the unit and the battery. You're not having to convert that energy at all. And the other benefit of a 24 volt system is you can use smaller cabling. Like, for example, on this battery inverter setup, I'm using single aught. If this 3000 watt inverter was 12 volts, I would have to use 4-aught power cable. So when you go with 24 volt, you get to use smaller cabling. Not as small as 48 volt, but I really just don't believe 48 volt is quite where it needs to be yet for vehicle living. I think in a couple years, they'll probably make smaller equipment and they'll start making stuff that's more realistic for vehicle dwellers. Yeah, I know, but like, why do you need that Signature Solar 6,000 watt inverter? Like, it's a split phase, but why do you need split phase in a vehicle? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You crazy. All right, then we'll do this one. But yeah, the EG4 stuff is nice. Grow watt. Oh, EV charge. Oh, okay. I mean, if we're not talking about like vehicle dwelling and stuff, then that's fine. EV charging, yeah, of course. There you go. I do like, actually, I'm going to be installing that EG4 6,000 watt split phase inverter and 2 of their huge Powerwall batteries. I think they're like 12,000 watt hours a piece. I'm pretty sure. We're doing them in that big ass box truck. So it's going to be like 30. It's like 25 or 30 kilowatt hours of battery and 6,000 watt split phase inverter. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So keep an eye out for that. I'll probably be doing that in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be badass. They're gonna have like endless power in that box truck. Okay, let's get this and this. All right, so now I'm getting ready to do the ring terminals. And so these are the hydraulic crimpers I use. They're the Temco TH006 hydraulic crimpers. And then let's see, here's my 5/16 ring terminals. Go ahead and run these on. There we go. And here we are. I like these Temcos. They give you a nice crimp. Really positive crimp. I like them. So now we'll do the other side. Another single aught ring terminal. Like this. Bam. Okay. Why use a tinned ring terminal? I use tinned because it helps with corrosion and moisture resistance. So on one of my previous builds that I lived in, I used the pure copper cable lugs, and I noticed after like maybe a year, they started to get just corrosion built up on them, and they kind of got green, and they had a little bit of corrosion. So ever since then, I now use tinned terminals, and I never have issues with corrosion. Yeah, it is. See, look. So this is a copper bracelet. It's pure copper, and see that green on my wrist? So that's the same thing that happens on your pure copper lugs. Wild, huh? It's just a chemical reaction, you know? Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm the one causing the corrosion. There we go. One down, one to go. Magic. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, you know, all the electrical work that I'm doing today, it's not difficult, but it's time consuming. And there's a lot of little steps and stuff that just you don't really know until you've, you know, learned it for yourself and done it a lot. So that's why a lot of people just choose to have it done by someone else with experience. I couldn't imagine trying to just do this all by myself for my first time, like, you know, just once, right? Like to try to learn all the skills you need to build a system like this, to DIY it just for one system for yourself, that's crazy. There it is, baby. Look at that beautiful cable. I like it. Okay, so someone's asking about how I charge. I charge by the job. Um, I've been doing this long enough now that I'm pretty good at estimating how long something's going to take me. And so I just basically figure out how long something's going to take me, and then I charge by the job. And the reason I do that is so that way the client knows up front how much the job is going to cost. And then additionally, that gives me the freedom to just take my time and, you know, if I need to, like right now, do a live stream, like I wouldn't be comfortable doing a YouTube live stream while I'm charging a customer hourly because I'm not as fast when I'm live streaming, you know? And then sometimes I'll need to, you know, answer phone calls and emails and stuff. So I like to just charge by the job. And that way the client isn't like watching over you, trying to figure out if they're getting their money's worth. Soldering, I don't solder the lugs. I've never soldered the lugs. Anybody I know that's like, you know, really a professional doesn't solder the lugs. Usually people that solder the lugs are like engineers, because they're used to soldering, right? Like people that work with control boards, PCBs, people that work in the electrical and the engineering field, they're used to soldering, so they do solder. But anybody that's really like a professional in 12 volt with this kind of stuff, they don't do solder. Crimping is perfectly strong. And when I was in HVAC, we never soldered. We soldered our refrigerant lines, but our electrical lines never got soldered. And I also, yeah, see, Will, the god of solar, he says soldering is not as efficient as crimping. So I rest my case. I don't have to explain myself any further. Will Prowse says it, and so it is true. And no joking, I like Will Prowse. He's a super smart guy, way more educated than me. And so if he says it, I will believe it to be true. And you know what's funny is Will Prowse used to be a nomad. He lived in an RV for a while, and that's where he kind of got his start in solar and electrical. He's not officially trained in any of this stuff. He figured it out on his own. Super smart guy. And super successful. He's got a huge channel. And I know somebody that knows Will personally, and they told me Will actually makes more money from his website. He has a blog website about solar, and he's able to place advertisements on his webpage, his website, and that's actually that actually makes him more money than his YouTube channel, which isn't crazy. There you go. Soldering leads to excess heat. I believe it. I believe it. Plus, if you ever look at like the photos of a solder joint after it's been cut in half, it's crazy. It literally, so because this is all stranded wire, as the hydraulic press constricts the fitting around the copper, it actually like compresses it into a single, it looks like a single piece of solid strand copper. It's incredible the way it works. But a good quality hydraulic crimp is very, very tough. All right, well, I just have to heat shrink, and then this one will be done, and we can go ahead and hook these up to the battery. Awesome information. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I appreciate the group today. This is a different group than my normal live stream audience, and so it's cool to hop on and talk with different folks. A lot of people here are really knowledgeable, and I like it. I welcome it. Appreciate you guys for being here. Colorado? Oh man, I would love to visit Colorado. I have a few friends in Colorado right now. The belts. Do you order the parts for the belts? What are you talking about? What belts? What belts? I don't know what you're talking about. In general though, I create a parts list. Oh, build. Um, yeah, I create a parts list for the client, and then I send them that parts list, and they order everything to their location. So that way I don't have to travel around with a ton of equipment, or a ton of, yeah, parts and materials. So all this was delivered by Amazon. I have a friend right now in I think Steamboat Springs. Is that Colorado? Steamboat Springs? I definitely have some friends in Colorado right now. It looks beautiful. I never been. Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, so I got some friends in Steamboat Springs, and so the plan is next summer I'm gonna go to Oregon. I haven't been in years. That's where I grew up at. So I'm going to Oregon next summer. And then the summer after, I am open to go wherever. So I might do Colorado, maybe Idaho, but I definitely want to do a little more exploring. Nomad Brad, even though I've been a nomad for 6 years, I've just kind of stuck to the same places. And so I want to get out a little bit more and find some new spots, some new nomad spots. Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and hook up the positive on this battery cable. Ooh. Come on, baby. There we go. Go like this. see, what do we got here? Go like this. There we go. All right. So we got the positives there, and then we're going to do the negative here, and that is going to be, where's my negative at? Here it is, right here. Negative, just like that. Okay. And we'll use the socket here. We'll tighten everything down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come right off here, because this battery and this battery is one set in series, making 24 volts. And then on this side, this battery and this battery is one set in series, making 24 volts. And then we used this line and this line to connect these two series strings in parallel. And so now what we'll do is we'll take a positive here and a negative here, and we'll bring them up, the negative into the shunt and the positive into the fuse block, and that will be it. That will be the connection for our electrical system. And now I'll go ahead and just test everything out really quick. We'll pull out the voltmeter, and we're looking for about 27.5 volts. And there we are. 27.51 volts is the final reading for all 4 batteries connected in series parallel. How about that? How do we do? We killed it. Good job. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the encouragement to continue. And that, my friends, is how Nomad Brad pays for his lifestyle, by helping other people achieve their dreams of being a nomad. Okay, so now I just need to make a little pigtail Pan American Highway. That's badass, yeah. Very badass. Pan American Highway. So now we're gonna go. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate you. Appreciate the encouragement. Doing what I can to help the people. So we'll go like this. And so we're gonna leave the battery leads a little extra long, because the client mentioned she wants to be able to kind of reposition this wooden table that I've mounted everything to. And so we're not going to go super short on the battery cables. We're going to leave a little extra So she's got some room to kind of move it around. And so I think this will be a pretty good length. So we'll do 2 of these. One for the positive, one for the negative. Just like this. Okay. We'll get the big ass cable cutter. Are you suggesting the square batteries or rack mounts? I think it depends on your application. I've installed both. I don't really have a preference, personally. I think what's more important, one thing I want to mention though, is I think it's more important to have the voltage of your batteries match the voltage of your system. So like in this case, this lady is using 12-volt batteries. Where's my cutter? Here we go. This lady is using 12-volt batteries to make a 24-volt system. But what happens is if you have to run 2 batteries in series to make that 24 volts, and so if one of those batteries goes bad or becomes out of balance, then that whole pair of batteries could potentially be useless. And if you're only running 2 batteries in your system, if one of your batteries gets damaged or goes bad, then the other battery is useless to you because it's not enough voltage. So that's something that I would recommend for folks is whatever voltage your system is going to be, use the same size batteries. So if you're doing a 24-volt system, buy 24-volt batteries. If you're going to do a 48-volt system, buy 48-volt batteries. Don't try to connect 4 12-volt batteries together to reach a 48-volt system. I just think it's kind of a liability. Now, it can be done, but I just think it's not the best choice. And on my next vehicle build, I'll do the same. I'll stick with the 24-volt electrical system, but I will use 24-volt batteries instead of 12. Yeah, if you go 48-volt, you're going to have to do server rack batteries. I don't think they even make 48-volt batteries in a box shape. Do they? Maybe for golf carts? I don't know. I don't know. Getting my crimp on a Wednesday. We're doing it, guys. All right, we got one down. Yeah, golf cart. Yeah, so golf cart does have 48-volt in the square style. So you could do it. It can be done. Sun Gold says you can go parallel on their inverters. Yeah, exactly. Also, more connections, more ring terminals, more wiring. It's just more everything. Each battery has a BMS. So if you have 4 batteries instead of 1, then now you have 4 BMSs that you have to deal with and hope that they all stay, compatible. So I think it's just safer. That's done. I think it's just safer to stick with your system voltage as your battery voltage. All right, so here's another one. Oop, we got a little straggler. By the way, on my wiring, I use the brand. Yes, I am using 4 12-volt batteries, but I did not choose those batteries. The client bought them. They already were here when they contacted me. I would not have recommended it. I mean, it's fine until it isn't. Um, for cabling, I use Windy Nation. You can get it on Amazon, but I think it's a really good quality um, for the price point. I don't know if you can read that, Windy Nation, but they make really good stuff, flexible, true to size. You can get all different sizes, you know, 12 gauge up to 4/0 if you're doing a 12 volt system, shame on you. And so Windy Nation makes really good wiring. And then for my ring terminals, I use the brand Cellterm. It's a really good quality. It's made in India, but it's a really good value. They're heavy duty. If you you got to be careful with ring terminals. Some of the cheap Chinese stuff that you get on Amazon is really thin, and the sizing is inconsistent. But I've been using these Cellterm terminals for years, and it's really good quality. The price point is good, and you can get pure copper if you want, but I always buy the tinned copper. And as I mentioned, I've used pure copper in the past, and it can get corrosion on it. G uses Windy Nation. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it. Let's see. So we're talking about ring terminals, and I was mentioning how I like the tinned copper. Yes, I do have an Amazon page. If you click on the description of this live stream that we're in right now, click on the click on the connect with me link, and it'll take you to my link tree, and it has a link for my Amazon shop page. And on the Amazon page, it has all the stuff we're talking about, all the tools, all the connectors, everything. Okay, so we're talking about ring terminals, right? This is tinned copper. I'll show you. This is a copper terminal that's been sitting in my it's been sitting in my little electrical case for, I don't know, a few months, maybe a year. But do you see the color? Do you see how it's all like miscolored? I mean, this is brand new. I've never installed this. It's just been sitting in my case. And look how it's already like losing its color. It's getting a little funky. It's getting ready to turn green. It's getting ready to match my wrist. So this is why I don't use copper. I use tinned copper. Shameful. All right, so now we're going to heat shrink this other terminal. All right. And here we are, looking good. Now we just got to do this side. So someone was asking about my range hood and my induction cooktop. And yeah, those are just plugged in to a regular 110 volt residential outlet. So it goes through my breaker box, the same breaker box we have here, and then it goes to outlets, and then it plugs in, because both those items, the induction cooktop and the range hood, those are both traditional residential appliances. So they just have wall plugs on them. So I just plugged them right in to an outlet. But it's powered by free energy from the sun, baby. All right, one down. And now we just got to do this one, and then we should be able to fire up the system. What do you guys think about that? That'd be the first. That would be a first. Fire it up. This thing has not been on yet. It is a brand new baby system. Brand new to the world. It hasn't yet experienced life or taxes. Someone asked if this is soy insulation. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. I'm using a heat gun. I have it right here. Have you been watching? This is an electric heat gun. I use electricity as much as possible because it's free from the sun. You don't have to pay for it, and you don't have to go fill it. Every morning when the sun comes up, it automatically refills your electrical for you. You don't have to go anywhere or do anything. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So whenever I can, I use electricity. I do not cook with propane. Although I will tell you, I do heat with a diesel heater. I find a diesel heater to be just so much more comfortable. Just the high temperature output you get from diesel is awesome. And I think it's way more efficient to heat with diesel than it is with electric. How did you get your battery used to showering once a week? Well, I'll tell you guys, the once a week shower thing, does my mini split have heat? Yes, it does. But I'll tell you, here's the problem with the mini split as a heater. Heat rises, okay? And the mini split, its primary purpose is air conditioning. And so the way you mount a mini split is you mount it up high on the wall. And that's where it's most efficient for air conditioning because it's working right at the hottest part of the vehicle. But the problem is when you put it in heating mode, now you're heating the top part of your vehicle and the floor gets very cold. So yes, it does have heating, but it's not very good because the floor is cold. In fact, not just the floor, like from your knees down is pretty cold. Okay, so someone was asking about showering. So I'll tell you guys, my showering only applies to like when I'm not working. Like today, when it's 100 degrees and I'm sweating and I'm working on an install, like I'm gonna go shower after this. So I don't want you guys to be, I don't want to mislead you guys into thinking I only shower once a week. However, when I'm not working like this, when I'm just in normal van life mode, because I feel like most people that watch my videos are just going to be doing normal van life. They're not going to be like working a physical job sweating during the day. Anyway, so when I'm normally just lounging doing van life stuff, I avoid the super hot weather and I don't sweat that much. And then I only need to shower like once a week. But that being said, I still, will clean up in between. I will use, a washcloth with water or a wet wipe. Or a wet wipe or something. I mean, there's still maintenance that can be done without a shower. My whole point is just like, I don't think humans really need to shower every day, especially covering their body with a bunch of random chemicals, right? Because when most people shower, they're using all kinds of body scrubs with synthetic fragrances and dyes and um, sodium sulfate and all kinds of chemicals that are really bad for your body, really bad for you. So I think that's important, is to pay attention to what you're putting on your body. Noah says tea tree oil on wet wipes. That sounds good to me. Yeah, there's lots of essential oils you can use that do a great job. So I just feel like the conventional way that Americans have been taught to take care of their bodies is not necessarily, very healthy, and it's definitely not natural. And it's all run by, you know, the big corporations that want you to purchase their stuff. They want you to buy all their lotions and their gels and their shampoos and their conditioners. And so it's really quite genius because they tell you, well, you have to shower every day. And then at the end of the day, uh, you gotta rinse off all this stuff. And then the next day, you gotta shower again, put it back on. So it's pretty smart on their part from the standpoint of just wanting to sell stuff, that they're convincing people that they need to do this every day because they're just going to sell a lot more product. So, from a business standpoint, what they're doing makes a lot of sense. Yeah, whore bath. I've heard that. I've heard that phrase. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Unscented and undyed everything. There you go. People are figuring it out. People are figuring out you don't want all those chemicals on your skin. There you go. A 16 or 32 ounce bottle of shampoo would last me 5 years. Happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear you guys are figuring it out. You're taking care of your bodies the proper way, not bathing in chemicals. It's terrible. It's terrible for you. All right, we got the last two heat shrinks we got to do here. And the last two heat shrinks, we'll fire on the system. Hansa, not really anything yet. I just started. Zach recommended it. And when I saw the kind of money that dude was making, I was like, whoa, I'll try that out. But yeah, not much money right now. But also, I've been really busy. I haven't had a lot of time to put into it. And so it's partially my fault. I got a lot going on. Nomad Brad's busy. I feel like I actually put in quite a bit of work in comparison to the amount of money that I make. Like, I put in a lot of time into all the videos, the editing, the filming, the posting, all the different social medias that I use. It's a lot of time. Donald Frazier is asking about the cost of my system, how much it cost me to install it, and how much it costs now. And the truth, Donald, is I have no idea what the prices are right now, so I couldn't really tell you. Couldn't really tell you, buddy. What I can say is that I think the prices actually on a lot of this tech is kind of going down rather than up. like lithium battery prices are going down. I know the lithium battery that I have now, those Time USBs, I paid, I think those were like $550 for a 12 volt 200 amp hour. And now you can get those batteries for like, I don't know, 450, 400 bucks. So the prices on the battery tech is actually going down, which is quite interesting. All right, so now we're gonna connect this positive here. Oh my goodness, come on, baby. And again, on this battery, we're leaving it a little bit long for the client. I know my wrist is turning green. It's because this is a copper bracelet and I'm sweating today. It's super hot. So when I sweat, the copper makes my wrist green. But I'll go shower tonight. It'll all be gone tomorrow. Sorry guys, that's just the realities of this lifestyle. Being a nomad, living in a vehicle, being sweaty, that's part of the human experience, guys. It's all part of it. All right. So we got that one in. Let's see. What about this? Here we go. That's the one we want. Okay, so that's locked in. The positive is good. Now, we got to do the negative. Oops. There we go. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized I think this is a 3/8 terminal, not 5/16. I got to redo that one. I think old Nomad Brad made a boo-boo. Let's see. Yep, it's 3/8. I forgot about that. Let me see if I can... Is there any chance that's going to fit? I forgot Victron does 3/8 on all their stuff. I might just drill it out. It's pretty close. Yeah, I'm just going to drill it out. It's so close, guys. It's so close. We're just going to drill it out. Do 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 do. Drill, baby, drill. that was a bad idea. We're going in reverse. I know, I almost took out my copper bracelet, man. That thing grabbed hard. Okay. Let's see. Yo, what's up, House Stark? Happy to see you. Happy to see you in the live today. Hello. Hello, hello. Very close. Not quite there, but very close. I might have to go get a step bit just to make this happen. We'll see. We'll give it one more go here. Are we still doing the live at 9? Is that your time? Did I wire the whole bus? Yes, I did. Yeah, a mobile vise would be a good idea. Vice grips, you got it. Victron controller, no. No, this is a eco-worthy, all-in-one inverter charger. All-in-one inverter charger. Okay, I'm gonna go get a step bit. Be right back. Whew. All right, so I got my step bit case. This will be a little better tool for opening up that hole. You guys got one of these? These are super handy. It's got all the different sizes you might need. I drilled quite a bit with that other drill bit. You wouldn't think a 5/16 to a 3/8 is really that much of a transition, but it turns out that it is. And I'm drilling in reverse so it doesn't catch and break my wrist. See how we did there? Come on, baby. Oh my goodness, we're so close. Dang, it's not quite. It's trying to buck. Try it from the other side. Honestly, at this point, I think it would have been easier and faster to just swap out the fitting. This is crazy. But I appreciate you guys for hanging in with me. Patience, grasshopper. Yeah, you got that right. Okay, now I need a socket for this. What size socket is this? There we go. It's the big boy. It's the 11/16 socket. And there we got it. I've done this, but I clamped it to a piece of wood. Yeah, exactly. This was definitely not the smartest way to go about it. Okay, now we can go ahead and make it happen. Let me switch your guys' view around. So here we go. And now, let's see, what is this? We need this one. And we got this one. So I'll go ahead and get this one going. Oops. Into the shunt. Whew, careful. Okay, so that one's tight. And then we're going to attach it right down here to this one. Okay, like this. Like this. There we go. That was a little bit of a struggle, but we got it. Now, let me just tighten it down with the socket here. Go like this. Okay. So here we are. That's the whole system. A little bit of a mess going on here. Wired up. Got the batteries wired up. The only thing not connected yet is the solar and the line in. Okay, so now all we have to do to energize this is turn this to on. I want to make sure all my breakers are off, which they are. I have, let's see, I'm going to pull all these fuses. So this way none of the DC circuits are live, because we don't want to all of a sudden start sending power through the system. So that's done, that's done. So this is it. This should be good. So if I turn this to on, we should get some power up here on the unit. On. Okay. Nothing going on there yet. Let's turn this on. No DC to DC charger on this one. And there it is. It's alive. Ooh. Fault. It did not like that. That sounded terrible. It sounded like this fan was all funky. Huh. Do 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 do. Off, on. Getting spicy. Yeah, that was weird. That fan sounded terrible. Battery. I wonder why it got all weird like that. Let's see. Let's see. What it says here. This is literally the same unit as the SunGold power unit that I have. It just has a different case on it. But otherwise, the specifications are the same. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so this says off, on. Let me check the voltages really quick here. Nicole, it's why I hope to leave. Okay, voltages, DC. So we'll check voltages at the battery on the unit. 27.5 volts. So we got 27.5 DC for, for the battery coming into the all-in-one unit. So that's not out of specifications. It says here, yeah, for lithium battery, fully equalizing voltage 28, boost charge 28, under voltage 23, over voltage 31. So we're right within the sweet spot on voltages. So that's good. Let's see. It sounded like this fan was hitting something. I'm trying to see if the fan... Doesn't look like the fan has anything funky going on. I think what I'll do is I might go ahead and just pull off the outputs from the inverter, although that really shouldn't make a difference. So what's interesting is on this unit, with it powered up, it's not turning on. Like the unit I have, as soon as you apply power, the display comes on. On this one, the display doesn't come on until I turned on the switch. So this is a little bit different for some reason. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. All I can think of is I might try to pull the 110, because all the breakers are off. All the breakers are off, but I might just pull the 110 and I don't know, see what happens. Okay, I gotta get a terminal screwdriver for that. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. Here's what we're gonna do. Trying to see if you guys can see that. I really don't think it... Somebody mentioned checking the polarity on the batteries, which I can do. Yeah, polarity is good. So here's my, I don't know if you guys can see that. Here's my screen. And if I go on the negative side of the battery, let's see, the positive side and the negative side. Okay, see how it says 27.5 volts? That's with negative to negative and positive to positive. So if I switch those, oh my goodness, auto power off, okay. So if I switch those on purpose and make them backwards, then I'll get a little negative sign. See that? Where it's negative 27.5? So that's reversed polarity. But that's not the way that it's hooked up. It's hooked up like this. So, polarity is correct. But good suggestion. I appreciate you mentioning that. So, I'm just gonna, I can't imagine this is gonna make a difference, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this really quick. No, the bougie Z brackets are not the ones you want. Those are not the long ones. I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. It's possible that I don't actually have it. Maybe it's not on the list. Maybe look farther down the list. But it's not the bougie Z brackets. I might have to add them to the list. They might. There's a possibility they're not on there. A small possibility. Okay, let's loosen this just so I can pull this wire. Okay, we'll pull this out. Okay. So there we are. F06. Let's see, let's try it again. $21. Okay, we'll turn it off. All right, let's see what 21 says. Uh-oh. There is no 21. Let me keep looking here. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Fan failure. I called it. I said that fan sounds funky. Look. Error code 21. Fan failure. So that's it. The fan is fudged up. So So that's not my problem. I mean, we'll have to exchange the unit, but it's not my fault. There's something wrong with the fan. Look at that, guys. We found a problem with this brand new unit. How do we feel about the unit? How do we feel about that, guys? Oh yeah, you can hear it. So check this out. I'm gonna, hold on. Let me see if I can show this to you guys. I have so many tools and stuff scattered around here that like, I have nowhere to put my, hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put your the microphone right up to the fan and spin it. And so first, well, the thing is, like, you know, with eco-worthy, I mean, these are just some cheap Chinese fans, right? So it's hard to say for sure that it's eco-worthy's fault. It might just be the fan manufacturer. Anyway, I'm gonna spin the fan, this fan right here, and put the microphone right up to it and see if you can hear anything. So you really can't hear anything. It's pretty quiet. But now watch. Let me spin the other fan. Hold on. So the bearings are just shot in this other fan. It's all jammed up. So anyway, so that sucks. So we gotta swap out the unit. Brett can hear that. Yeah, it's crunchy. The bearings are all crunchy. Okay. Well, that's it, folks. Disconnect the fan. Let's see where. Oh, I see it here. So the fan is glued onto the circuit board. I mean, the fan's a 3-pin connector, but it's like glued onto the board. Hey, Super Dave, what time is it? 3 o'clock? 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll probably do a live stream later just to catch all the regular folks. I gotta go shower though. I'm pretty hot and sweaty. Anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna bother Journey with Nicole. Yeah, I'll still go live tonight, Nicole. I'm not gonna bother pulling the fan because I have a feeling the circuit board is probably checking for resistance anyway. So if the fan is not present, it's probably still gonna give me an error code. So I'm just gonna swap out the unit. I mean, I'm not gonna. This is a brand new unit, so it needs to function like brand new. Too bad, though. Too bad. We're going to try it one more time just for gigs. No, it's from Amazon. Oh, there it went. I don't know if you guys could hear that clicking, but look, it's actually working this time. So it's actually staying on this time. Because I think because I spun it by hand, I think I freed it up a little bit. Obviously, I'm not gonna Ace of Spades close pinned to the fan. No, it's definitely the fan itself. When I spin it by hand, like if I compare the one fan, it spins freely. The other one definitely, it's just messed up. The bearings are shot. Yeah. So I'm just gonna swap out the unit. No, no, no. I mean, the thing is, I'm not gonna send this lady out on her, brand new journey, with a, half-ass fan that's gonna fail at any time. So we'll swap out the unit, and we'll get her a new one. But otherwise, it did actually turn on. So I could plug in the 110 and test it if I was feeling frisky. But I guess it doesn't really matter. I gotta swap the unit anyway. So I'm just gonna turn it off. And I think that'll be it, guys. That'll be it for the live stream. We got it all connected. The unit does power on now. So we got it going. But that's gonna be it for me. My normal scheduled live stream is 6 o'clock today. So I'm going to shut everything down here. I'm going to go to the gym and take a shower. And then I'm going to go do that live stream at 6. It's not past warranty. We just bought this last week. It's all good. We're going to send it back to, we got it from Amazon. We're just going to send it back to Amazon, get a new one, and off to the races, baby. But yeah, if this was like, if you owned this unit and it was outside of warranty, you could replace the fan yourself. It's a pretty easy change out. I'll show you guys. So basically, it's just a 3.5-inch PC cooling fan. And so you would just take out these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. You would take out those 4 screws. That would loosen the fan. And then right down here, that white 3-pin connector, that is the connector for the fan. So you would just swap out those, you would just swap out that 3-pin connector. Or if you didn't want to remove the glue from that connector, you could just cut the lines and splice in a new, splice in the electrical right there. But yeah, it's totally serviceable, field serviceable. That wouldn't really be a problem. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you being here. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. Appreciate you coming and watching the live stream. And I will see you guys next time. Appreciate it. Peace.